On you.
Oh, hey everybody, welcome back to the Spin Rack. Is Mars here? Hey, I'm here with my boys. We're about to do a review. Say what's up, gents.
What up?
Hey, we're ready to rock.
Hey, we're talking about The Crow. I mean, everybody knows about The Crow because Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee, died unfortunately in a tragic accident. It went on to do gangbusters business. So now they're finally, after what, 20, 30 years, they're finally coming out with a brand new version of it. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what it looks like. Selector, drop it.
What's the first thing you liked about me?
I thought that you were quite brilliantly broken.
You feel like my person?
You feel like my person.
What's the worst thing you've ever done?
I saw things. I shouldn't have seen any of it.
Julie! Julie! Please don't do that! When someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. But sometimes something so bad happens that the soul cannot rest. Until you put the wrong things right. You were given the power of a god. But you're running out of time to save her. I'm gonna kill them.
Wow.
Every single one of them. And killed you.
Yeah, you did.
We have a problem. He came for us.
First impulse. Anger. It's not anger. It's love. Look at what you've become. You know that love promises only pain. You have no idea what hell awaits you. No, I do.
How many people have you loved?
I'll never be alone.
I think that was the wrong question for her to ask.
Clearly just one. And that one
That was the wrong question to ask.
So look, it's like as you can see, he's coming back to avenge his love. He has this Joker vibe going on. He has the Frank Punisher going on. It's a totally different look. It looks slick. It looks good. It looks like something that we've seen about before, But probably the execution is better. Petey, let you start off this time. What's your thoughts?
Um, it's a little more. What was it? I think it's. What can I say? It looks good. I can say that. They have a little. I mean, ever since was it Get Out has done the sunken place, people have tried to give someone their own sunken place over and over again. So that bit I could have done without it. Otherwise, it looks pretty interesting. I'm looking. It looks like there might be another hook, and that's what I kind of struggle with when I saw the original comic. I was a James O'Barr. Is that there wasn't another hook to it. It was just straightforward. This event happens like the Punisher. He comes back and kills the people. So it's like I think that it always needed something else, but it was a very popular comic book, independent comic book, and at the same time, it looks like he works his way to looking like the character from the comic book, and of course, we have the history of Brandon Lee passing and the things we expected from the Crow and Brandon Lee, especially stuff from his beginnings, being like like someone being like close to Bruce but not Bruce, but we could see it happening for him. So this isn't that, but it's playing off of some of the things of the comic book, and maybe they have another story and here that a twist that's needed. So far it looks good. I I guess it's good enough to go see it in the theater. I can't say I wouldn't. There's been so many bad stuff I've seen in the theater, so I'd definitely see this in the theater.
What's your take, Cal?
Oh, I mean, this is in the same vein as I guess these last few shows have all been with this new film that's out between Alien, Shogun, and now The Crow. I have to do my best to say, well, do I really want to see this after having seen a very good rendition of this in the original? That's with Alien and Aliens. That's with Shogun, and that's with The Crow. And this is probably this is probably the hardest one, because out of the Crow franchise, the first movie was great. Everything else has not been good. Everything. I mean, and I guess it speaks. It really does speak to the longevity of a franchise based off the inertia of the initial film. That film did well enough that we can keep doing this. Okay, we can keep, to an extent, regurgitating this. Okay, and we'll be okay, because we'll always have an audience for the same thing, even if we know that it was lightning in a bottle one time and we're never going to be able to replicate it. That first film was not just that Brandon Lee, who was the son of Bruce Lee, was fatally shot on the scene, tragic death, as you already said, Mars, and then of course people turning out, to see the film. It was good. It was good. The dialogue was good. Action scenes were great. Soundtrack. It was great. It was great. Classic. Becomes a classic film. I don't know if I'm going to call it cult, because most of the people, if not everybody, saw it, liked it or loved it. So this wasn't something just a group of us, enjoyed, and we decided to, puff it up to a level greater than it actually was. But that was a legit film. People liked it. 4 stars, no problem at the end of the day. Everything after it has not been good. Everything after it has not reached, or at the very least has not reached, that level of the first film. And so now you're like, okay, as always happens, let's start over. Let's try it again. Why? Because we already know that there's a market that we can bring out for this film. I just don't know if it's going to be any good. I really don't. And unlike Alien, I don't really see myself seeing this one. I don't. I'm going to have to, if you guys give me a good review on it and there's nothing else pressing, I might go see it. Other than that, there have been enough Crow films and a TV series that I gave a shot, and every single one of them was not good. This is the only other franchise I can think of that falls into the same vein as this is Highlander, where that first film, great. Everything else, you couldn't keep your hands on. No, I can't even say that for Highlander, because the TV show was great. So I just don't really feel the need to go see this film. They have not engendered any sort of desire in me to go and see this, based on the fact that they hit once and were never able to hit again.
Well, you were right, Cal. There have been 3, I guess, sequels after the first movie, right? And I don't think they haven't much to talk about. And the very fact that you also had a TV show, you also had additional comics. After this, a video game I think came out too. Was a video game come out? I'm not sure. I thought a video game may have come out, but it's and the music. I think they always talk about the music. It's like a rock, the way they try to portray it, like it's a rock album. The way this movies come out, it's a very interesting thing. These IPs are kept along for a long time, because no matter what we say, if they make it cheap enough, it's profitable, right? There's going to be an audience. There is an audience, clearly, but if they put the money behind it, and same thing could have been with Highlander, and with Henry Cavill, if they're able to do it, probably put the proper behind it, the proper producers and writers, probably can be a pretty good thing. And this too, we're not sure. We've seen the story; it's pretty much of a retread for a lot of stuff, but there's a look about the Crow which, to me, I don't understand, but that people keep liking to see, and I'll check it out. I don't have a problem with that.
You're against the makeup?
No, not that. But I have a question for you, Cal. And didn't the was is the Crow comic any good? Is it value any? I mean, I've heard
Oh
that
yeah,
the
the
comics.
Crow
I'm like,
comic. That's a key Bronze Age book. Last time I checked, I think somebody had a copy of. They had the third printing is pretty rare, but that first issue goes for like a couple grand, maybe as much as three right now. I think the only other book that's in contention with that, when you look at Bronze Age around that same time, I'm not really, yeah, I believe it's a Bronze Age book. It's the 80s, but it's still Bronze Age, so would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's the only other book. The Crow, yeah, that you get your hands on that, and you were able to get lucky enough that it was in somebody else's collection, or somebody didn't have any idea what the book was. That's a key book. That's worth a few $1,000s easy.
interesting. And they've come out with different versions. I think Image is the latest comic book company, or probably not, that has this coming out with stories based off of that, or IDW. I mean, it's to me interesting that the comic continues to be put out, right? So I guess that's what they're saying. There's something there. Somebody's buying it. I don't know how much, but somebody's buying it. There's interest in the IP, and I guess it's something similar. It reminds me kind of the what is it, Robert E. Howard estate, where they keep doing um, Conan books until they can get somebody to do another movie or TV show. I mean, that's what they're really aiming for at the end. In the meantime, they're going to make some money off of these comics, right? Until it's done.
Well, it's interesting because I didn't know. I don't remember when it came out. If you imagine back in '94 when the first one came out,
The
Image had
comic or
already
the
happened, huh?
comic or the
No, the movie, the first movie with Brandon Lee, when that came out, like comics were a big thing after the Image explosion and X-Men #1 and X-Force and Spider-Man #1. So looking at it, and it's like we were waiting for that big burst of comic book stuff to happen, and it seems like the only really good thing that came out, I think a little before that, which wasn't successful, was the Rocketeer, but I liked it. Then you had the Crow and the Mask. And it's not until Blade where we get the full on explosion of movies. But it's interesting. I mean, obviously, Batman Forever came around, was it like 95, 96? But The Crow is one independent that really worked. You had the Spawn movie, but, obviously, that's not something that anyone ever came back to. You also have Barbed Wire. But I think you had The Crow, which was serious, and you had The Mask that was kind of funny. And that's the two kind of independent properties that really kind of did well. And we see what The Mask did for Jim Carrey. Just imagine what it would have done, what The Crow would have done for Brandon Lee. So
would it have been as big if the controversy hadn't happened that Brandon Lee had passed away?
Yeah, it would have been as big.
they were projecting that was going to be big. So it's like, and we hadn't. This is would have been the actual comic hit, even though there was a buzz and people talking about the market share of Marvel and Image and DC, but you having one that was an actual success is something that we could see it transfer over to the film. So it's interesting to see. I didn't remember that was out in '94. So
Okay. So hey, anything else? I mean, Cal is a no. PD, are you a yes to see this or what?
I hadn't thought about it being when Cal said I hadn't thought about it, reusing the IP again. And at the same time, at least there was a big gap for Shogun, less so for Alien since we had a couple of bad properties. Even though there's a big gap with the bad properties on the Crow, that doesn't necessarily mean we go out back and revisit this. So mainly because it's been kind of slim pickings going to the movies and saying this looks like it's going to be action packed and could be fun in the movie theater. And the person who love interest in there, she looks interesting. So I still say I might go see, but it's one of those things where it might be the next weekend, and I couldn't miss it. But I'm gonna see. I'm gonna try to keep it in mind for now. 'Cause I don't really know that actor from. I don't know the actor from too much stuff, so I just need
Bill
this.
Skarsgård, you had? I think that's his
Yeah,
name.
yeah. But I was thinking the other Skarsgård. I think.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. I wonder if they're related.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me see if they are. But it's kind of interesting if you ask me, though, that you see, he is. What did I say? Yeah, he is related to Stellan Skarsgård, who is in the Marvel movies. That's his. That is his. He's the son.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Family continues, but I'm like 50-50 on the fence with this, so I had to see a little bit more and see how that pipes up. But this definitely looks like a great streaming show movie. you know, that's what it looks like to me.
Oh God, no. You already. I can stay home, and that's the way to support.
That's a legitimate.
There's your thumbs up. There's your thumbs up.
That's not a way to support your film.
It's a legitimate. I'm just saying nowadays people will watch from home, but I'm just saying there's a legitimate B movie thing where people remember they used to do all the video cassettes
Call
and
it
the
a B
CD.
movie. You just
This
call
is
it a
a
B
film.
movie.
Yeah, you're really scraping the barrel with your compliments.
So hey,
What,
we hope to check it out.
what were B movies? B movies were like, hey, we got nothing else to do. Let's go get Dynamite Chicken and make fun of it.
All right, guys, spin a rack.
Well, before we out, we got
No.
Shell. There's some new talents to check out in there. And F was it FKA Twigs and
Yeah,
Laura
but we know
Brown.
her from the whole debacle she had with the guy from the Transformer movies.
What she had with the debacle she had in the Transformer movies?
No,
Yeah, who are you talking about?
She was in a relationship with the guy from the Transformer movies. What's his name?
The first guy, the first Transformer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't want to go. It gets pretty crazy and pretty graphic at one
On
point.
from her side or his side?
For her and him, they had like some.
Oh my! What
depending
is
on what-
she's
what
a
it
she's
said.
a she's an artist then, right?
Yeah, she's an artist.
Oh, this is crazy. She got the
Sounds
Shia LaBeouf.
great.
Shia LaBeouf was who she was in a relationship with.
Hey,
Shia LaBeouf.
tune in
Sorry.
if you want to hear more about it. Tune in to Spinner Rack After Hours for all the details.
We are not touching that at all.
It's like
We hope
BET
to-
Uncut, Spinner Rack
We hope to
Uncut.
see. That's right. We hope to see you there.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just she made some allegations. She could be or could not be. I'm not sure what's going on, so I don't really want to, get into that whole thing. But hey, spin a rack.
You want to leave now? I'm just looking up FKA Twigs. Anyway, all right, we're out.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.